What's going on, guys? This is Evan, the Xenogears enthusiast, bringing you a little gameplay commentary on the Hangar 18 with the golden Enfield, with pretty standard stock class setups, a little hacker action. This is probably the last assault rifle game I'll play in a long time because I don't play Black Ops as much as I used to. The game's I'm 15th prestige now, and I still enjoy it, but only with friends. And my friends have been busy, and my usual little update on what's going on with me. I moved back up to my alma mater to start my graduate assistantship there for graduate school. So, I'm back away from home, so I actually have a lot more time with my video games because I went home for a week and didn't have them at all. But, before I left, I was pretty hung up on Armored Core, and I'm still pretty hung up on Armored Core. And the only time I really get on Black Ops is if I can find like a big, 2 or 3 people of quote-unquote clan ego to play with me. Some of you guys as subs have been messaging me, you still want to play, and that's cool. I'm glad you guys are still interested. It's not that I'm not interested, I'm just not on very much anymore. That probably needs to change though, because I know a lot of you people watch this channel. A lot of you people. I know a lot of you guys watch this channel because you want to see Call of Duty gameplay and Black Ops gameplay, and I'll be getting Modern Warfare 3 and playing that. You get the idea, but right now, guys, I don't feel like there's a lot to talk about on this game. So I'll just give like a closing commentary on quickly about why this game sort of didn't have the longevity that Modern Warfare 2 did for me. And I've played a lot. I've played this game. I'm 15 prestige. Clearly, it's not like I didn't play it. I got my money's worth. It's a great game. I think it's the best FPS shooter on the market that people are playing right now. A great game, honestly. Definitely an between an 8 and a 10 on a rating. It's just once you play it extensively, you find these faults that you didn't find. First, you find faults in the community, and you find faults in the balance, and one leads to the other. When I first got this, I got this game on launch day. I didn't get like an early release or anything like that. I had this day when everybody else. I had this game at midnight, like everybody else. I went to class the next day. And when I got out of class, I started playing Black Ops. And I think through my first 3 prestiges, which didn't come that quick because I took my time at first. Then I started like power prestige, I guess. Frankly, like people used every gun just trying to get a feel for the game. I personally unlocked the RPK as my first weapon, which is a really bad choice. I'm an LMG fanboy, so of course I was pretty excited to bust out the LMGs and use those a little bit, but then I quickly was like, man, I can't hit anything. And I knew this game had higher recoil than Modern Warfare 2 did. I'd watched the videos and from like the people that got early releases and heard about it from other commentators. I wasn't even commentating at this time, of course. And I knew that, that the accuracy, sometimes I just didn't know how to play, but then I found out, no, the RPK just is probably in the top 5 worst weapons in the game. Okay, cool. Sweet. Then I moved on to the Olympia because I was excited the shotguns were primaries and I figured they'd be really strong. Then I found out, well, the shotguns suck. I mean, they're fun and you can learn to use them, but overall, you're always outclassed by assault rifles in pretty much all situations. I'm like, that's okay though. I mean, niche weapons. Shotguns will be niche weapons. I guess I can live with that too. But I should have used the assault rifles, and like everyone else, we all use the assault rifles. Then I think it was 2nd or 3rd prestige. I found the FAMAS and was like, man, this weapon's crazy. It's like the rate of fire on this thing. Like this is like a hip-fire machine. So then I started running around with like the FAMAS sleight of hand class that everyone in this game uses now. Ghost Pro, Sleight of Hand Pro, Hacker Pro. It didn't take me more than a day to realize that, of course, Ghost Pro is the best first perk in all situations, no matter what. And then I found the best attachment was either dual mag or suppressor. Depending if you wanted ammo or you wanted to stay off the map. That's what's off about the gun balance in this game. Like, if you're just trying to like stomp through like average players, like man, okay, the way to go is to just pick the power assault rifles. Then I got sort of a Galil frenzy for a couple prestiges because I felt dirty using the FAMAS. And I hadn't figured out that the AUG was an exact duplicate of the FAMAS with a different recoil yet. Found that a little later. Then I used the Galil and I was like, I really fell in love with the Galil for a while. I was like, man, this thing has really low recoil, really high damage. Not high damage, but really high rate of fire, big clip, really high bullet penetration. I'm like, man, this thing is like top 5 weapons. Then it hit me that the reason I liked it so much was this is basically an LMG with a mobility. At that point, I couldn't use it anymore. I'm like, this is dirty. This thing became the only viable LMG in the game without being an LMG. Like, this is stupid. Like, so then I couldn't use the Galil anymore because I felt bad. And the M16, I started using that for prestiges. I like burst weaponry a lot, and the reason I eventually put the M16 down is I just got a little tired of it, and I got grumpy with the fact that I always had to play slow gameplays, and around that time is when I started to commentate, and people said they wanted, less campy gameplays, and I don't really like to rush with my M16 hip firing it, so then I started to use the AUG, and that's when I discovered it's, the same recoil as the FAMAS. I could go on through the history of all my weapons. You know, then I pretty much went through a period where I tried every weapon in the game for a minimum. I did like 3 or 4 prestiges where I used near the end of the prestiges, like 12 through maybe like 10 through 13, maybe, where I would just use every weapon for like 300 kills and go to the next. And I'd rotate like the class. That's for LMGs and assault rifles only. I didn't do that for like shotguns and stuff. Anyway, you get the idea. And I just quickly discovered, like, wow, there's like, this weapon is defined by the FAMAS and the AUG. It's just defined by those weapons. Nothing really competes. And the G11 somewhat, not nearly as much. Then the FAMAS nerf came, and that helped a lot, I think. But the problem is the AUG is still like such a viable alternative that all I see is FAMAS and AUG. And I think part of that is that they're just overused at this point. I don't want to get into a huge debate about balance, but just understand that weapons like the Enfield fall into this like really dull category where they're good weapons. I mean, the recoil is very manageable, the ADS is fast, but they just don't measure up to the other high flyer weapons. And all the LMGs in this game are balls. Like, the ADS really slow. They're not as accurate as some of the assault rifles. They just don't have a damage drop-off. Like, apparently when they did their weapon balance, Treyarch decided that not having a damage drop-off made the weapons so ridiculously good that it could be sort of substandard in all the other areas. Same with, like, attachments. Like, the LMGs have no good attachments. The shotguns, the Spaz is pretty much okay. Like, the Spaz is good if you know how to play it, but the Olympia, it's never good even if you know how to play it. I mean, it's fun, you can do well with it, but that doesn't make it good. I get a lot of comments on the channel that I want to address quickly, and that people say, like, you know, you just don't know how to use the weapons. I do well with them. I assure you, I can do well with any weapon on this game other than the wall. I cannot use the WA2K. I just can't. I'm not smart enough. But if you give me any other weapon on this game, you know, I can get you a gameplay where I go, like, really great KDR, whatever, rushing, whatever you want to see. You know, I can get it. You play enough matches. I can even get consistent with it. You know, I've used all the weapons in this game for over 500 kills, at least. I mean, all the primary, I think secondaries. I don't use the China Lake or the crossbow or the ballistic knife. But anyway, the point is, just because you can do well with a weapon doesn't make the weapon good. If you find that you do well with those weapons, try changing to the AUG or the FAMAS or the Galil. You'll do really, really well. Like, maybe there's like a dozen weapons in this game, no less than that. Between 5 to 10 weapons in this game that are really, truly viable in more than just a few select situations, whereas the rest of the weapons are just inferior versions. You know, you have the FAMAS AUG duplicates, you have the Galil AK-47 similarities. Like, these weapons are all very similar. Like, I don't think it's good gun balanced or good design to make identical weapons that have different recoil patterns. Particularly not when certain ones outclass other weapons in almost all areas. You know, I understand, like, it's hard to make all the weapons viable and useful, but it can be done. I've played shooters where it's been done. You just have to sort of vary the way they handle it. Don't ever make duplicate guns that are just like, I was playing Homefront. I'm not a big Homefront fan, but I was playing it. I own it. I needed a break from some other things. This was before I found Armored Core, my new passion. But people are saying, the problem with Homefront is there's so few guns, and while I agree with that, not really many less than Black Ops, because in Homefront, the guns are similar, but they're all different enough that you can tell a difference, and they're all viable. Every weapon in that game, besides the M16, which is kind of bad in my opinion, all the other weapons in that game are pretty viable. Whereas in this one, they're not really viable. I mean, at least not in comparison to their compatriot weapons. So you guys get the idea. I think I've belabored the point, but I'm really trying to explain how the lack of gun balance really killed this game for me. Because I love the gameplay. I love the fact that there's a lot of recoil on the guns. There's a lot of view kick. Map design's okay, depending on which map pack you're playing. All in all, I'm just really satisfied, except for the gun balance. I'm like, why did you make the assault rifle so ridiculously powerful compared to their weapons? I just don't understand. But I want to move past this now. I talk about this in a lot of videos, because every time I play Black Ops, it just hits me and I get frustrated. And I want to share my frustration with you guys. I hope you guys are feeling it too. But anyway, I'll be bringing a lot of sniper gameplays from this point forward on Black Ops' life, because I'm like an L96 fanboy. I wasn't an Intervention fanboy in Modern Warfare 2, but I'm a fanboy of the L96. I can't quickscope crap because the game refuses to let me, but, you know, whatever. I'll still post some gameplays, and I got my first set of 2. And for those of you that are watching, or you like, will watch, do me a favor and tell me if you like the 2-game setups, or like if you'd rather see me post 1 game one day than 1 game another day. Like, do you want 2 games back to back in one video, or you want me to start splitting up the videos? It's no difference to me. It's the same amount of work. Just let me know what you want, and I'd appreciate that. Alright. Oh, and always rate and comment. If this is your first time here and you like it, subscribe. A lot of Black Ops videos, a lot of sort of weirder, older games that I play now. And I play Armored Core 4 Answered and Armored Core series a lot too. I'll probably post a lot of those games. And what do you guys think of the Armored Core stuff? It's just not doing it for you. Never heard of that game. Don't want to see that game. It's okay. And, if you're interested in sharing, tell me what you think. It doesn't take you long to put a couple comments there to tell me what you like. Anyway, let's talk about, I guess, the last thing I want to talk about, which isn't really gameplay related, but I do want to... Anyone ever had that experience where they go to a job interview and they leave the interview and they just know they've got it? Like, everything went great. The guy I was talking to seemed super interested in what I had to say, and then you just don't get the job? Like, what went wrong? Like, you ever wonder, like, or you call and they're like, we had other candidates, you're like, dude, we're acting like we were brothers in the interview, like, I thought you were ready to promote me to management, you're not even ready to hire me? Has anyone ever had that experience? I had that experience a lot with graduate school. I was applying for graduate assistantships, and I had, like, maybe it's just a problem being like the student affairs sector, but man, I had like 2 or 3 interviews where I just knew for sure I had it. I'm like, man, this guy was particularly like, I have the job, like this woman, this guy, whoever interviewed was like, we're very interested in you. We really hope that you accept an assistantship from us. You're like, wow, you're already asking me if I'll actually accept. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. Then I quickly find out that actually you weren't particularly interested, or you found someone better. I don't know. I had that experience a lot, and before I had student affairs, I never had that experience. Normally, I knew if I was going to get a job or not in the interview. Like, I just knew, like, I'm stuck in this window. This guy's going to steal my care package and make me mad, so I'm going to torch him with this guy's flamethrower. Man, the Dragon's Breath has no range. It's so bad. It's pretty much a corner killing weapon only. This is me just using it badly. This would have been a sweet flame double kill if I didn't suck. Anyway, have you guys had that experience? And if so, share it, because I'm actually curious, like, how often you guys have had that experience. Oh, then my buddy Chris gets the game-winning kill cam, steals it from me, of course, with his claymore. Anyway, guys, that's sort of the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Those are pretty decent scores with some of the more underused, underpowered weapons in the game. So, anyway, I appreciate everyone watching. Expect some more Black Ops videos. I know that's what you guys are looking for. And I'll talk to you guys later. Check out the Armored Core stuff, guys. It's not as bad as you think. The music on those games is great.